Welcome back, episode 3. One of the things that people get really confused about web video is all the hosting components. Where's the video going to? How much bandwidth will I need? What size should it be? What codec should it be? For a brand new business who knows nothing about web video, it can be an overwhelming sense of I need to learn all this stuff and I don't know where to start. Luckily, there is a lot of brilliant web hosts out there, video web hosts out there that have been around for the last 4 or 5 years, some just 2 or 3 years, that are doing amazing things in the video hosting space that take away a lot of those problems that you would normally associate with putting web video out there. It can be completely overwhelming if you get into the nuts and bolts about how the codecs work, how much bandwidth you need, how much transfer you need, if you need a HTML5 embed or a flashing player, do I need it in sort of WebM, how much data transfer in my CDN. All of these things can be really overwhelming. All you really want to do is put web video up on the web. And so you look at all of these different terms and terminology and you panic. The first thing is you don't know who you're serving to, you don't know where it's going to, you don't know how much bandwidth you're going to use, how much is used when somebody watches it, all of these different questions. Don't panic. I've got a few easy tips for you today to get your video, to get started, to get over those obstacles of wanting to know all of the little bits and pieces which often take you away from your original mission, which is to put web video out there for your business. First tip I'll give you, do not use the hosting space that you were given for your website. Or if you went and bought a web domain with some provider somewhere and it was £1 or $1 or $3, chances are that hosting space you have will not suffice for putting web video out there. If you're going to host it yourself on your own space, chances are that the provider that you bought your domain with is not really geared up to serving web video. One of the best ways to serve web video is to use a CDN, and I promise it's only one of the keywords that I'm sort of buzzwords I'm going to use today. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. They're networks that have been designed to deliver media, be it audio or video, mainly video. There's lots of different companies out there that provide you with hosting, be it YouTube, be it Wistia, be it Vidyard, loads of others. They all use CDNs, Content Delivery Networks, and the reason why they use CDNs is that they have a faster network to deliver video to you, but it can also deliver video all over the world, all areas of the world. Some hosts, some providers do not allow connections from other countries, etc., etc. A lot of CDNs have local access, so you upload your video file into the cloud and then they distribute different versions of it to different servers closer to your potential viewers, so your viewer doesn't have to go all the way to the US or the UK to download your video file. It comes from a local server. Really, I can't stress it enough. If you're going to look into one area of a hosting, make sure it is putting your stuff on a CDN. Faster your video loads, the less buffering is involved, the more of an experience your client will have. So a lot of people would just go and put that video on YouTube, and that's great. YouTube has a fantastic service. It's very easy to upload stuff. There's a whole bunch of different features. You can stabilize, you can color correct. But one of the things that I always get asked by businesses is that they lose control. They want to get rid of the YouTube graphic, or they want to do something with the player in some way. But one of the things about the actual player is that once you embed it in your site, you can potentially lose control of your viewer. So at the end of a video play from YouTube, it puts up related items that might not be your items. There might be other stuff from around the web that they may click on, and then you've lost them. They're off surfing around YouTube looking at videos. When you're a business, you want to be able to keep them in your player, direct your message inside your little embed on your website. So YouTube is not always a good thing for a business. I think it's good for building communities. I think it's good for subscriptions. I think it's good because it is the second biggest search engine in the world, so it is going to get found. In the Google search results, you always see YouTube videos. I would also suggest having a backup or an alternative for your blog or your main website where you can track it, look at the analytics a lot better. I tend to use a combination of YouTube and Wistia being a enterprise class business solution that has some incredible features, analytics, tracking, transcription, so it goes along with the words as from the video. Fantastic website, fantastic crew. In 2013, not having a mobile version of your video is a bad thing. Flash does not work on Apple, so if you're still using a Flash embed on your website, when somebody goes to it on a tablet, they won't be able to see your video, and all they'll see is a blank empty space, and that just doesn't look very good and not very professional. So in 2013, try and make an effort to make sure that your video embed is smart, it's dynamic, it understands if it's on a desktop or on a tablet or a mobile smartphone, and you can find that YouTube natively supports that. Wistia has got a fantastic little embed. Also, if you're on a tablet or on a desktop and you go sort of full screen with a lot of these services now, it does provide a high definition version automatically, which is a fantastic feature. One of the reasons why I use Wistia over YouTube is that it has some fantastic things for a business for capturing email addresses and also links after the video is played. YouTube is very particular about just sending you to links within YouTube, whereas Wistia's you can sort of send it wherever you want, mailing list or to a service or a discount code, whatever you want to do. Ability to ask for an email address at the beginning of playing a video. So before anybody gets to watch the video, they have to put their email address in, which is brilliant for email capture. You get to know who your user is. More than that, when you're looking at your analytical tracking data, you can see who those people were because the email address is actually in the stats and how far along they watched. And if you're a real sort of proactive kind of business, you can get in touch and say, hey, I know you watched the video. Proactive business, you have a business big enough for people to ring those people, get in touch with those people, email those people. Maybe you can follow up and say, hey, I noticed you watched that video. Are you interested in this? And maybe offer your service indirectly that way. Hosting video in the cloud can get expensive if you're using high definition files. Again, YouTube has a freemium model. You can upload content. I don't know if there's any limits to the content. I know there is in terms of time, unless you've got a certain type of account. Do be careful about how much you're going to spend on space of storing your high definition files, considering where you're going to be in the next 3 or 6 months time, and making sure you got a plan for it. You could also do a combination of all of these different hosts. You could put all your video into different places. One of the things I will say though, that if people comment and feedback on those videos, be prepared to contact them back, as in make sure that you've got all those email accounts for those different services connected, because you want to be carrying on the conversation underneath the video after they've left a comment. You can have people leaving comments on YouTube, not on Wistia, on Vimeo, and you've got to be able to manage it. One of the things about engagement from the video, people want to know that there's somebody on the other end who's replying. I also find that communities have different kinds of commenters. YouTube can be really, really harsh, and they'll probably put some weird stuff on there. So don't be immediately put off that you're just getting really bad comments or not any comments at all. Make sure that you have processes in place to engage on those different networks if people leave comments. That's it for episode 3. We will catch up with you in episode 4. I hope you're enjoying these so far. If you've got any questions, do get in touch with me at Phil Campbell on Twitter. We'll catch up with you episode 4.